internet. How are we this evening? So happy to see everyone. We have a ton to get into, as we always do. Seems like the news is on overdrive today, though. We got a ton going on. But first, there she is, right on cue. Scarlett, what? Did you get distracted? Oh, you don't want to say hi? I guess not. All right. I guess she doesn't want to see you tonight. That was weird. She can't. Oh, she's coming back, guys. I'm sorry. The show revolves around her. You know how it goes. Okay. You want to say hi? All right. Come on. Let's say hi really quick to everybody since you put a delay on it. Oh, okay. You want to give me a hug? Okay. Okay. All right. Now go lay down. Can you go lay down, please? Scarlett, you're delaying the show. Lay down, please. Thank you. All right, everyone. How are we this evening? I'm so happy to see you. Let's see and make sure we are live over on all the platforms and things. Let's see here. All right. We got the McCarthy crap going on. Trump's currently in court dealing with all that crap. Freaking insanity in all the cities. Again, New York, craziness going on over there. We talked about Philly last night, but San Francisco is out of control. We will get into that. Ukraine stuff, I think I already said that. There's a test of the emergency alert system tomorrow, and a lot of people are talking about that. We'll get into that. Whole bunch of stuff that we will get into. So I hope everybody's having a fantastic evening. I know I am. Make sure we're live over here on Rumble, and it looks like indeed we are. Northside, how are we doing? What? I don't know what you're getting at there, Northside. Yeah, I'm not even going to respond to that. Okay. So yeah, all right. I think we are live on all the platforms. Let me check X. I always have a problem over there. Let me see really quick before we start talking about the Ukraine stuff that's going on. I do not like the ongoing support for this war that's going on. Forever wars. It's supposed to be liberal. There's been a complete flip. Liberals are now, they're no longer liberal. Republicans, well, the Matt Gaetz Republicans are, I would say they are more liberal than what Democrats claim to be. And we'll get into that too. But yeah, looks like we're live over there on the Twitterverse, or X, I should say. All right, folks, let's get into some stuff. So let's start talking with Ukraine and see what we got going on over there, because there was a press conference today and Kirby was up there doing his normal shenanigans. And I just, how can we say that we're not at war with Russia? I don't know how we can say that. Just because we don't have boots on the ground. That's it. That's like, yeah, I don't see how we could say that we're not at war with Russia. So anyway, let's check out what Kirby had to say about it. So,
you said earlier in response to a question that there are 50 countries that are.
Sorry, folks. This is a quick 2-minute clip that I clipped earlier, and they're asking him, there's 50 other countries that are supporting this, that are supporting Ukraine. Why can't they support it? The countries that are like close to Ukraine, that are surrounding Ukraine. How many other countries have been invaded and we didn't do anything about it? And just, I'm not trying to support any sort of Russian invasion of Ukraine. That's not what I'm doing here. But what are we doing over there? The longer this drags on, it turns into another forever war like Iraq, like Afghanistan. And now it seems to be Democrats that support this stuff, where it used to be Republicans. This is what it's turning into. And anyway. And he says it's not fair to compare it to that, but I think it is, just because we don't have boots on the ground. Anyway, let's listen to what Kirby has to say.
You said earlier in response to a question that there are 50 countries that are assisting Ukraine in their fight against Russia. Why can't Ukraine make do with just that support? Why is it necessary for the U.S. to also be a part of this military, economic, and humanitarian aid?
Well, there's a lot there. First of all, there's incredible convening power by the United States. and it's hard to see that there would be that level of international support so widespread. And it's well beyond Europe, man. We're talking about countries in the Indo-Pacific region that are providing lethal capabilities to Ukraine without U.S. leadership, without us convening, holding these contact group meetings that Secretary Austin has hosted. U.S. convening power, U.S. leadership on the world stage matters. People follow our example. That's number one. Number two, we have, continue to have the most powerful military in the world, and the largest, most capable defense industrial base in the world. There's no other nation that can produce the kinds of arms.
Okay, so all right. So he's saying we have convening power, meaning what? These other nations wouldn't be involved in the war if we weren't? Are we strong arming these nations? Are we coercing these nations into providing lethal support for Ukraine? He doesn't seem to be helping his case here at all. And then he goes on to say how we have the strongest military. Okay. Well, are we at war with Russia or aren't we? What are you saying here? This is very frustrating because it's again, like it's declaring war without it's going to war without declaring war. And I don't know how anyone can say we're not at war with Russia with all the support we're providing.
Arms and equipment and systems that the United States can. Without United States support, it would be very, very difficult for because many of these other nations are donating and contributing U.S. purchased or U.S. contributed equipment. So without our
so all these other nations that are providing support for Ukraine are purchasing weapons from us to further support the military-industrial complex. Got it. Thanks for clearing that up for me, Kirby.
Support. It's not inconceivable that some of that other support would be harder for Ukraine to achieve. There's just, I'm sorry. The scope and the scale, the ferociousness of the fighting right now in the counteroffensive, and the expenditure rate of munitions means that there has to be a sufficient production capability to back it up. And no other nation has that like the United States. Now, we know we have to continue to accelerate our own production.
You know, it's funny. He talks about munitions capabilities. I mean, if you're just talking about like rifle rounds, and there's a lot of rifle rounds that would need to be provided for this war. We don't have, our military doesn't use the same rifles, you guys, as Ukraine. They use 7.62. We use 5.56 or 2.23. We don't produce 7.62 on a mass scale like we do for our military. So, you know, and this is probably other countries where they come into hand where they're making that. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of rounds manufacturers that can make 7.62 plenty easily. There doesn't seem to be a shortage on it right now. Anyway, just saying.
Capability. But no other nation can do that but the United States. So it's really important that we stay in this fight with Ukraine and that we continue to lead the world as we have under President Biden's leadership in providing their support.
It's very important, guys. Very important that we continue this war. It's very important for all of the horribly corrupt people that are running this world, robbing the citizen blind and lining their own pockets, at the same time propping up our worthless economy and fiat currency. Did I have that? Do I have that right? I'm probably missing some stuff, but that's sort of my take on that one. This is a clip that I want to play from when RFK was talking with Tucker, and just going back a little bit, talking about a little history with us in Ukraine in 2014 and that whole deal. So yeah, let's play this one really quick, shall we? I think we shall.
2014, there are riots it's called the Maidan Rebellion in Ukraine, which we're not told that we are financing those riots. The newspapers never told us, our government never told us. USAID, which is a CIA front, put $5 billion into funding those riots. Those riots lead to a coup d'etat against the first democratically elected government of the Ukraine. It was a government that refused to choose sides and to say, we're going to be on the side of the West. So we wanted them out. A month before that government is overthrown, Victoria Nuland, who's the part of the centerpiece of the neocon ideology and who is now a high-level official in the State Department, has a secret call with the U.S. ambassador, which is tape recorded and is now public, which anybody can go and look up, where she is picking the new cabinet for the Ukraine, which is which is a U.S. Western cabinet. So they're picking the new government a month before the old government is overthrown.
Is that how democracy? Is that democracy when Victoria Nuland picks your government?
Well, that's the point. Is USAID doesn't really do, and the CIA don't do democracy. The CIA has overthrown, I think, 83 governments between 1947 and 1997. That's a third of the governments on Earth, and most of them were democracies. Oh, it doesn't do democracy. It does good. It does.
Okay, that's from Vigilant Fox over there on X. Excellent follow. He's great. I actually subscribe to him. I pay for this person's content because they're freaking awesome. They just do great work. Yeah, that's clipped by him, and yeah. Anyway, check his stuff out. But if I'm understanding that correctly, and I'm pretty sure I am, he seems to be saying that we installed the current government that exists in Ukraine and sort of overthrew the last one with our intelligence agencies. And that last government was a democratically elected government. So, okay. All right. Well, I got a hot take on all this, but I want to get to one more thing. So, okay. So we'll talk about this. Mario Narwhals. His name is Mario Narwhal. I just like to call him Mario Narwhals because I think it's funny. You guys probably don't. Oh, hey, Wally World. I should say hi to everybody. Hi, Wally World. How's it going? Yeah, I know. 2 nights in a row. I feel like I got to do a show every night this week because there's so much going on and I won't be able to cover it all. So, yeah, I'm doing a show every night this week, I think. And if you guys are currently watching, you've gotten this far and you want to help out the show, I am an independent streamer. I do this for fun. This is sort of my hobby, but I would like to make it my career one day. Who knows? So if you'd like to support the show, like to support the work, please like, repost, share, all that good stuff. It greatly helps me. It greatly helps the show. If you want somebody staying in the fight here in California and you want to support that, please like, please share, please subscribe, all that stuff. Yeah, especially if you are on the X platform. That's the platform that's helping me out the most right now. And yeah, that's where I think I have the most reach. So let's go to Mario Narwhals. What does he have to say? All right. UK sending troops to Ukraine? ? Russia calls them legal target. Yeah. So Russia's calling these troops a legal target in Ukraine. So this could be a major escalation if, that's like direct NATO involvement, direct NATO casualties at that point. So UK Defense Minister proposed sending military instructors to Ukraine. The Prime Minister, however, clarified that for the time being, there are no plans to dispatch British troops to Ukraine. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev warned that British personnel training Ukraine on their soil might become potential targets. If British troops were to be targeted, it could trigger direct NATO involvement in the war. I really hope peace is reached before further escalation in this conflict. Should NATO troops be sent to Ukraine to train Ukrainian soldiers? No, of course not. Absolutely not. What are you talking about? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, you guys that know me know that I don't support ongoing support for this war in Ukraine. And I don't think anybody thought it was going to go this long. I think people are, every day it loses more support because people are dying every day. Men, young men A generation of men are dying on the front lines, Russian and Ukrainian. It's and all of the territory that's being fought over right now. What's up, First Shot? How you doing? It's a lot of people have really strong opinions about the Ukraine war, and those people that have really strong opinions, you know, that say things like that as soon as you speak out and say anything about you not supporting the U.S. involvement in the Ukraine war, how reactive they are and call you a Putin puppet and all sorts of craziness like that. It's insane how and it's all people on the left, people that are supposed to be anti-war. It's so backwards from how everything's supposed to be, but it's much like everything else, like with things that the left say they're supposed to be about, like inclusion and anyway. So I do not support the ongoing involvement for this war in Ukraine. Jake Shields tweets this out a while back. This is on the 22nd of September, but Zelensky personally requested Mariana Abramovic, I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry, you guys, to be ambassador despite her being an open Satanist. This is a battle of good versus evil in America. This is what he says. But yeah, look at these pictures of this chick. So this is who Zelensky wants to make an ambassador, apparently. This crazy chick. Look at these pictures. Are you kidding me? So is that a goat head? Sure looks like a goat head. Okay, there's a lot of symbolism there, isn't there? Yeah, this looks like, okay. This looks like some sort of animal bones all over the place. It's just, what is wrong with this chick? Okay, all right. I've had enough of this. Yeah, what is happening? First, you don't care about Ukraine. You're not a supporter of Satan. I tend to agree with that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Kirby is just, it's just that. That's a lot of what. Oh, here we'll get into it. That's what a lot of this Matt Gaetz, Kevin McCarthy crap was about. The ongoing support for the Ukraine war and how that money is jammed in with all these other bills. So it's like you either, in order to get all the things that you want, you have to support the Ukraine war too. So that they call them these omnibus bills, where it's just a ton of different things packed into one bill instead of having one bill for one thing. Like an aid package for the Ukraine war should be a standalone thing that's voted on. And I believe that if Congress and the Senate was voting for their constituency and how they actually feel about this war, they wouldn't be voting for any more aid packages. Like, this is what this has done. Everyone goes to the grocery store. Everyone goes to the gas pumps. Everyone can see that everything is astronomically priced. I haven't gotten a raise in years. It's just surviving is getting so much harder. And there's so many videos coming out about how surviving is getting so much harder. And yeah, people are at their wits' end. And when people are seeing crime going absolutely crazy and the border wide open and money flowing to people that aren't from here, aren't citizens, mass amounts of money flowing to them, and then mass amounts of money flowing to other citizens that aren't from here to another country, sending it to Ukraine. And, we're told that it's our dollars, but they just print it. It's like, wait, well, if you could just print money, then what do they need to tax us for? And it's just like they're just recouping their losses from us, the only people that are actually producing real value. It's the people are at their wits' end because they're not getting anything in return from their government, local governments or federal governments. Some are, obviously, definitely not here in California. It's people are getting to the point where it's like, why am I paying for stuff at the grocery store? Why am I paying toll charges? Why am I paying parking tickets? All this stuff. People are fed up. People are just fed up with all of it. And I don't think the support for the Ukraine war is there anymore. Maybe it was in the beginning. There's some diehards on the interwebs, but yeah, I don't think it's there personally. But maybe that's just me. Who knows? All right, let's move over to the Matt Gaetz, Kevin McCarthy crap, because we got a little bit to get into there, and I already talked about the Ukraine war for too long. I don't even like talking about that topic because I don't consider myself to know a lot about the Russia-Ukraine war, but I could still talk about the regions that are, like the contested regions, like the Donbass and Crimea. And I know a little bit about 2014 and was it I don't want to say the wrong word, something crisis. I don't want to say the wrong name. I will, and I don't have a super strong opinion. Like, I don't support Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but I don't support tons of money going to Ukraine either. I feel like they're neighbors. They should have to work this thing out, and we should help broker peace between them if we can possibly do that. But yeah, all this money flowing to them. Yeah. Anyway, I don't have a super strong opinion about it, and I'm willing to say that I don't know a ton about that region. And then there's people that have such strong opinions about it that'll rip my head off. And if you ask them like the most basic questions about it, they usually can't answer it. It's just annoying. People that have really strong opinions don't seem to know why. Like the most programmed people. Anyway, let's go to the Matt Gaetz crap. Because we definitely have that stuff to get into. Yeah, Gaetz, Kevin McCarthy. Sorry, folks. Where is it? Sorry, I lost it for a second there. All right, let's talk about Matt Gaetz and Kevin McCarthy. So McCarthy's out. He is out. So a lot of people talking about it. I won't even get into it too much. Just everybody is giving their opinions on it. Every pundit is talking about this, so I will let Matt Gaetz talk. I'll let Steve Bannon talk. They're already talking about making Trump the next speaker, all sorts of stuff. So I'll just go to video clips to sort of explain it. But yeah, Gaetz is out. McCarthy is out. Gaetz and 11 other Republicans voted with Democrats to oust him, and I'll let other people talk about it. Let's let Gaetz talk about, I think this is him talking about Trump though. So let's just go to this quick clip. I'm not even going to go full screen on this. I just want to play the clip.
I support President Trump, eager to campaign with him. Probably our private conversations I'm going to keep to us, but I think I'm in pretty good stead with the former president. You'll see me on the campaign trail with him soon. And by the way, you know who you won't see on the campaign trail at a big rally? Kevin McCarthy. Because if Kevin McCarthy took the stage at a Trump rally, he would be booed off of it like Lindsey Graham. I support President Trump, eager to campaign with him. Probably our private conversations I'm going to keep to us, but.
Sorry, folks. I had to cough. I had some Red Bull go down the wrong tube. All right, let's listen to what people are saying about this. So, okay, yeah, they want to nominate Trump. I'll go all the way back here. Yeah, so the vote was ended up being what? I don't know what the final total was, but it was they ousted him. Breaking House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has lost the vote to block a motion to vacate the chair. 11 Republicans vote with Democrats to proceed. All right, let's listen to this hot speech from from Matt Gaetz. Clint over at Liberty Lockdown says it's 2016 yay. 2016 yay, 2010. Okay, that was the total nay to push McCarthy out as speaker. Looks like a done deal. All right, let's listen to what Gaetz has to say. He was fired up about this. So
and when it comes to how those raise money, I take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have, boo all you want. who have hollowed out this town and have borrowed against the future of our future generations. I'll be happy to fund my political operation through the work of hardworking Americans, $10 and $20 and $30 at a time, and you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you.
I like everything you just said there. I mean, all right, so lots of Thomas Massey is speaking out against this move, saying that it's not good for, basically, it's not good for the system. It's not good for Republicans as a whole, but and I don't know what his logic is. Are you trying to prop up a system that's fraudulent and failing the people? Because is that all you're going to do by keeping McCarthy in place? Because he hasn't lived up to what he said he was going to do. The J6ers, all the J6ers stuff. They had to twist his arm really hard to get them to even consider impeaching Biden. There's a whole bunch of stuff that he agreed he was going to do for them to even make him speaker. And Gates said, if you don't do this, we are going to oust you. And that's what he did. So I don't know. I tend to agree with Gates here. I don't know. Mike Cernovich has to say on this. Well, he is quote tweeting Dan Crenshaw, and Dan Crenshaw says, if you're voting with every single Democrat in the House to oust a Republican speaker, it's not about winning for your constituents. It's not about winning for conservatives. It's not about winning for conservatives. Based on all the fundraising emails we are seeing, it's only about personal attention. There are people who fight for you and people who fight for your attention. Big difference. Well, Matt Gaetz just said that's just what he was saying in that whole fiery speech, that he's not taking money from lobbyists. Who are you taking money from, Dan? Like, if he's taking money from private citizens, like short, small amounts of money, that's what Bernie Sanders' whole appeal was back in like 2016, was that it was a grassroots effort. It was $5 here and $10 there and all that kind of crap. All right, so let's see what Cernovich had to say on that. He says, Dan, what the F have you Republicans even done? FBI, DOJ is rounding up Trump voters like cattle, while you smugly dismiss any criticism of the Stasi. Criminal gangs are pouring into the border, smash and grab crimes running wild. Y'all ain't doing shit. We see through it. Yeah, I tend to agree. Like, what are they doing? It's not time. Democrats have gone so far over the edge. This is no longer time for Republicans to just be going the speed limit, to be driving inside the lines. There needs to be radical rip stuff to the ground moves made. So look what they've allowed to happen to the January 6ers. Why aren't they talking about it nonstop? That's my biggest gripe is the J6ers and all of that, not shining a huge giant spotlight on what really happened that day. I guess they kind of are, but yeah, McCarthy has been very underwhelming. So that's what Cernovich had to say. Talking about putting Trump in his spot as speaker. All right, let's listen to what Bannon has to say for like a minute and 30 seconds. He's talking about putting in Trump as speaker. I don't know how it would work, obviously. He's running for president. So what does Steve Bannon have to say about it?
This is going to be ugly tonight. This is going to be, they're not going to have the champagne out. They're going to come in viciously. You can see the way McHenry banged that gavel down there. He and Graves, because they understand they got fired. All the whole gang around McCarthy all get swept aside now. All get removed. And they go back to being congressmen, but they're removed from essentially power. They're not in leadership anymore, which has massive power here in the imperial capital. I think that as people think it through, for your consideration, we should think about President Donald J. Trump. And people go, oh, this is Bannon. He's a bomb thrower. He's a chaos agent. I actually think if you want to get people organized and on the same page, the Keebler elves are finished. Youngkin's not going to happen. We're going to make sure of that. Youngkin is not going to, we're going to ensure that he does not, he'll pose a bigger threat than President Trump is DeSantis. They're going to try, but it's not going to be real. So given that Trump is essentially the nominee, who better to bring this party together and to do it now? They said, well, we can lose the House. We did. Let's bring it together now. Let's bring it together now. I was very serious about it in January. And if they had taken our advice in January, we wouldn't be where we are today. Number one, you would have never had that debt deal. Impossible. Impossible. And you would have had real investigations. You would have had real impeachments underway. I actually think Merrick Garland and Mayorkas and Chris Wray would have been the first three.
Yeah, that's another great point. Like, what have Republicans done to shine a big, giant, bright light on what the DOJ has done? Look at all the collusion they had with big tech. Like, what have they done about that? There's just, it's all they talk. It's all talk, and they bring people before Congress and make them say things, but there's never anything done. Like, Merrick Garland's still in charge. Look at all the crap this dude has done. So yeah, those are excellent points by Steve Bannon. But first shot, what do you mean you lost respect for Massey? Don't lose respect for Massey just because you disagree with him on one point. I get it. Like, I understand the law. He thinks he's coming. I think Massey is coming from the same stance as Matt Gaetz. They both think they are doing what's best for the country. They both think that. And Massey's logic is, I guess, that propping up our existing system and not ousting one of our own, the Republicans, I'm not a Republican though, just saying one of their own, isn't a good idea. You know, so that's just the argument that he's making. And remember, Massey also voted against censuring Schiff and fining him a bunch of money. Remember Adam Schiff? He voted against that too. Remember? Him and Kevin Kiley from California, who I also like. And their logic there was like, well, why should we be able to like fine him? We should be able to kick him out, but we should be able to fine him. And anyway, that was sort of his logic there. He always backs up his stances at least. Don't lose respect for him just because you don't agree with him on one position. I don't agree with him on it either, but I still have mad respect for Massey. I think he's a good dude. Got mad respect for Matt Gaetz too. So, all right. I think that is all I want to talk about McCarthy and Gaetz. So we know what happened. McCarthy's out. My dog is having a very deep dream, and she's growling. She's growling in her dream. All right. Stop sharing this one and move to the next because we got to talk about Trump now, I believe. Yeah, let's talk about Trump. Let's talk some Trump. I know we always talk about him. Talked about him last episode. We've got to talk about him again because not too much, but this judge issued a gag order, and that could be a thing, couldn't it? That could definitely be a thing. Let me check over here on Rumble really quick before I do this. Northside Pete Grabber, how you doing? Northside, I can't read your comments, bro. Yeah, nice to see you folks over there on Rumble. All right, let's talk about this gag order that was issued and what could be the implications of that. So we'll go to the Krasenstein to see how he's reporting it. So Brian Krasenstein says that the judge issues a gag order on Trump. Judge Arthur Engeron just issued a gag order against former President Trump in the New York fraud case against him. He's just said against like 3 times. The gag order has come after Trump posted the following on Truth Social about the clerk in the court. Schumer's girlfriend, Allison R. Greenfield, is running this case against me. How disgraceful. This case should be dismissed immediately. Violating this order would lead to a 30 days in jail. What is warranted? Why can't he keep his mouth shut and let the court decide things? Why can't you keep your mouth shut, you greedy little freaking jerk? You're talking mouthpiece for the DNC. Like, why can't Trump keep his mouth shut when a New York judge is telling him that he overvalued his property to get loans that he paid back, and there was never actually a victim, and you're the one putting value on his property of his homes, on property of Mar-a-Lago, and when the properties surrounding it are worth more than you're saying it's worth when those properties are small? Like, this whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. And why can't Trump keep his mouth shut? Shut up, Ryan. Why can't you keep your mouth shut? It's so freaking annoying. All right, so my hot take on this: Trump should tell him to go to bite himself, and I am not hardball. If there's anything Trump, I would like expect him to do, something that he could do, is tell this judge to go F himself. I am not shutting up at all. Make him put him in jail. Trump's like, all right, put me in jail then. That would be crazy. Like, really put this on display. Make them show their cards. Put me in jail over this case where you're saying that I overvalued Mar-a-Lago to secure loans that have since been paid back in full with interest. Those people weren't hurt by anything. The judge is just pulling this out of thin air. It's insane what they're going after him for. And now they're telling him he's got to shut up about it. Trump better tell this judge to go F himself, put me in jail. So that's that. First comment on this was kangaroo court. And Krasenstein's probably going to try to back it up. My dog is still having a pretty funny dream. All right, let's listen to this quick clip from Tucker. So Simon Atiba says, Tucker Carlson, he just writes a quote: virtually nothing the liberals says is true, and the lies aren't ordinary lies. The lies are so brazen, so aggressive, and unending that it's difficult for a normal person to understand what's happening. It's absolutely right. So this is a little longer clip. It's like 3 minutes, but I want to play the whole thing for you guys. I'll probably pause it and talk a few times. I know that annoys you guys, but I have to. I have to do it. I can't help myself.
If you've ever wondered why it's taken you so long to figure out what's happening now in American politics, don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. It's hard for most Americans to comprehend the total dishonesty of American liberalism. Virtually nothing the liberal says is true. And the lies are not ordinary lies. The lies are so brazen, so aggressive and unending that it's difficult for a normal person to understand what's happening. 30 years ago, for example, liberals began to lecture us, softly at first and then in an increasingly high volume, about tolerance. How could you have known then that they planned, in fact, to usher in the most intolerant age in American history? They've done that now, but few people saw it coming. We shouldn't make the same mistake again. Liberals are now telling us they plan to protect American democracy, and that's the clearest possible sign that they intend to end it. 13 months from this week, the United States will hold a national election. In a democracy, citizens can vote for the candidate of their choice. That's not just a feature, it's the defining fact of the electoral system. The people rule. They can send anyone they want to Washington because they're in charge. But this year, in the name of protecting democracy, liberals have decided to strip Donald Trump's name from the ballot in states across the country. Trump is the front runner in the presidential race.
And I do think that's the next move. They're going to try to take Trump off the ballot. And I think they will start with a liberal state where it doesn't really matter. Well, it would matter in any state. That would be insane to remove Trump from any ballot. How much that would disenfranchise people. So I think they're going to start with an already blue state to sort of set precedent so other states can do it in like key swing states. But imagine if like a state like my state, California, took Trump off the ballot. That would disenfranchise potentially 6+ million voters. That's how many people voted for Trump last election in California, 6 million plus. That's a lot of voters. So even if they, it's an electoral college system. So even if we're in a state where it's clearly going to go blue, that's not so clear anymore. I do not think that's so clear. If we have straight up elections and didn't have mail-in ballots, California being a straight up blue state to me is not so clear anymore, because blue doesn't mean what it used to mean. That being said, if they remove Trump off of the ballot in any of these states, that is, the word unprecedented is such an annoying word, but that's the only word that comes to mind. It's so brazen, and how much it would disenfranchise voters is just, there'd be a lot of really, really angry people if that happened.
Race. He's currently beating Joe Biden in the polls. Yet liberals have decided that you should not be allowed to elect him president. That's not democracy. It's the opposite. It's totalitarianism. Just this morning, Donald Trump appeared in court in New York in a civil case brought by the state's attorney general that was designed explicitly to keep him out of the White House. That case is part of a larger legal barrage against Trump that so far includes a total of 91 felony counts, every one of them politically motivated. But today's civil case is especially absurd. In fact, it's hard to overstate its ridiculousness. In sum, Trump stands accused of inflating the value of collateral used to secure loans that he has already paid back with interest. In other words, there is no injured party in this case. The biggest banks in the world assessed the risk and they made a profit, as they almost always do. Not a single person was defrauded. For this non-crime, Trump and his children are in the process of losing their homes and their businesses. Here's MSNBC's live coverage of the hearing today. And as you watch, pay special attention to the judge in the case, Arthur Engoron.
And there you see.
So this is the guy that issued a gag order. And just think about what this guy is doing. This is all conjured up by him and his people. And then look at this douchebag.
President Trump, the former president, I should say, next to his attorney, and that's Chris Kise, who we expect to make the opening statements here. And then this,
Judge Engoron,
I guess, is Judge Engoron.
What is that? Are you kidding me? Why? A judge should be stone-faced. He looks giddy that he's about to indict Trump or whatever.
There he is, the judge, mugging like he's on stage in a middle school play, grinning, preening for the camera. Arthur Engoron is thrilled to be on MSNBC. It's nauseating. This is not a legal proceeding. This is a grotesque parody of the system that our forefathers created, the fairest in the world, that in the years since has been seized by power worshipers like Arthur Engoron. This is a dangerous moment. Without a legitimate legal system, people will no longer follow the law and the country will collapse. This is not about Trump. This is about preserving the United States of America. But Trump is at the center of the story.
Okay. Well, I don't really have much to add to that. So, yeah, for sure. They are scared of Trump. That's why you see Gavin Newsom attacking Ron DeSantis all the time. That's who Gavin Newsom wants to go up against, is Ron DeSantis. So, yeah, I think that's all I want to talk about.
If you've ever wondered why it's taken you so long.
Actually, I do want to read this from Clint really quick. Because Clint used, this is what he did for a living before all this stuff. Clint over at Liberty Lockdown, Clint Russell. He says, I processed hundreds of loan applications in my career. It was my job as an underwriter to make sure the information was accurate and to only lend them the money requested if they could repay it. Trump paid back his loans. There was no victim. This case is purely political. And it is. It's insane. It is freaking insane. This is Trump talking about. She's just talking about the judge right before he goes in there too. Just does not care. Listen to Trump talk for 25 seconds here before I move on.
This trial was railroaded and fast-tracked.
This trial could have been brought years ago, but they waited till I was right in the middle of my campaign. The same with other trials and indictments. It's all run by DOJ, which is corrupt in Washington. So very simply put.
Oh, yeah. I think anybody that's looking at this honestly to themselves, like you don't have to talk about it out loud, but it doesn't matter how far to the left you are. If you are, well, if you're that far to the left, you aren't honest anymore. You can't be. It's an agenda that's being pushed by the far left now. But if anybody that considers themselves a Democrat that is looking at what's happening to Trump right now with just this case specifically, it's like, what are you guys going after him for? Oh man, it's just after everything, they're gonna go after him for something else after this too. You know they are. All right, enough talking about Trump. Got to move on. Got to talk about, I think I got, yeah, all right. Let's talk about this emergency alert system stuff that's supposed to happen tomorrow. So quite interesting what people are saying. It's kind of funny. Saw one of the Krasensteins talking about it this morning, and he's calling people basically tinfoil conspiracy theorists about it. So I immediately figured there must be something to it. So let me go to my tinfoil folder and let's see what people are talking about this emergency alert system that's supposed to happen tomorrow. So I do not know how to pronounce this woman's name, but she says this individual, Jason Shurka, who served as the CEO of Unified, recently posted a video in which he claimed that on October 4th, during the emergency alert EBS test in the United States, there would be an emission of frequencies through electronic devices that could let's see. Sorry, folks. I know I give you a cliffhanger there. That could have adverse effects on vaccinated individuals. It's unclear where he obtained this information, but his video gained significant traction, prompting inquiries. Personally, I hold reservations about his claims and their likelihood to materialize, while anything is possible. The question of why he possesses this knowledge remains. People should exercise their own judgment, but it's essential to remain cautious about the dissemination of fear-inducing information. I like that she didn't say misinformation. She said fear-inducing information. Okay, very careful with her wording there. This is Jason Shurka. I'll leave you to draw your own conclusions. The symbolism is everywhere. Be careful who you follow. Burning Man, really? Let's see. Okay, so this is the guy that I'll play this before I play the video of the dude.
80,000 people in the middle of the desert for an entire week. A 10,000 square foot base pyramid with a one-of-a-kind energy enhancement system art piece that's going to change everybody's experience when they come in contact with it. So about 6 months ago, I gave Michael Scaler a call. He's the CEO of EES. I brought up the idea.
Okay, I'm sorry. I cannot handle that. All right, it's only a 19-second clip. Let's see what this weirdo has to say.
On October 4th at 2:22 p.m. Eastern Time, the emergency broadcast system will be activated across the entire United States under the leadership of FEMA, disguised as a test. However, this test will be used to send a specific high-frequency signal through devices like smartphones, radios, and TVs with the intention of activating graphene oxide and other nanoparticles that have been inserted into billions of human beings around the world through the obvious mediums. If the October 4th date does not occur for any reason, the backup plan will be to do it on October 11th at the same time. In the case that this is not able to be stopped, I ask you all to shut off your phones and all other relevant devices at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for a period of 2 hours to be safe. On October 4th.
I wonder if he added the music himself. So that's funny. All right. Hard for me to take what a Burning Man bro has to say seriously. So that's what he's saying about this. But Glenn Beck tweets out, and I like Glenn Beck. So FEMA is conducting a nationwide emergency alert system test on Wednesday, Russia is also conducting emergency tests this week to prepare for nuclear blast. That's just a coincidence, though, right? Nothing to worry about, right? That's what Glenn Beck says. And then this person, Iris Serafina, says, this Wednesday, October 4th at 2:20 p.m., 12:20 Mountain Standard Time, a nationwide test of the emergency alert system will take place. All cell phones will broadcast a loud, blaring sound like an Amber Alert, then display a text message with additional info. So this is, I don't want to get too tinfoily about it, but it sounds like this is just a test of the emergency alert system. And I'm not vaccinated, so I'm not super worried about it. I'll probably, at that time, go put my phone somewhere where it won't annoy me, because I know that's going to happen. I guess this is supposed to happen for like a half an hour. There's another video that I think I have on this. Okay, so this is what this lady has to say about it. Yeah, this lady was, I'll play this whole thing. It's like 3 minutes, but this lady explains, she looked up all the info on this thing, and it's not just one test. So let's see what she has to say about it.
Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. So I wanted to take a look here about this whole October 4th thing. And I'm currently looking at the FEMA and FCC plan nationwide emergency alert test for October 4th document on the FEMA website. Now, what I find very interesting is that there will be 3 tests done at once. Yeah, grab something to drink. Spend a couple minutes with me. Okay, so the national test will consist of 2 portions, testing the WEA, which is the wireless emergency alerts, and EAS capabilities, which is,
and again, she's getting this from the FEMA website, so
the emergency alert system. Both begin about 2:20 p.m. Why 2:20? That's weird. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, October 4th. Excuse me. The WEA portion, so the wireless emergency alerts, will be directed to all consumer cell phones. This will be the 3rd nationwide test, but the 2nd test to all cellular devices. The test message will display in either English or in Spanish, depending on the language settings of the wireless handset. The EAS portion of the test, so the emergency alert system, will be sent to radios and televisions. This will be the 7th nationwide EAS test. FEMA and FCC are coordinating with EAS participants, wireless providers, emergency managers, and other stakeholders in preparation for this national test to minimize confusion and to maximize the public safety value of the test. The purpose of the October 4th test is to ensure that the systems continue to be effective about warning the public of emergencies, particularly those on the national level. In case the October 4th test is postponed due to widespread severe weather or other significant events, the backup testing date is October 11th. That was very specific, right? Okay, so all of you worried about how long the signal will last, beginning at approximately 2:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, cell towers will broadcast the test for approximately 30 minutes. During this time, WEA-compatible wireless phones that are switched on within the range of an active cell tower and whose wireless provider participates in it should be capable of receiving the test message.
It's funny is the dude said using 5G to activate some sort of graphene oxide that was within the vaccines. Ian from Timcast, I wonder if he's freaking out about this. Well, he didn't get vaccinated, I'm sure. But as soon as they say graphene, you know that he's going to start freaking out. It's the first thing I thought of when I say graphene oxide is I think of Ian. Oh, graphene.
It'll say this is a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. No action is needed. And then it does Spanish. Okay, so the emergency alert portion of the test is scheduled to last approximately 1 minute and will be conducted with the participation of radio and television broadcasters, cable systems, satellite radio and television providers, and wireline video providers. Okay, so that's 1 minute. What's the 29 minutes for? And yeah, it says 1420 to 1450 hours that it'll be covered in the United States and no action is required by the public. But why? What's the extra 29 minutes for? It doesn't say. That's the end of the article. So just so there's some fact out there going on about October 4th, it will be 3 separate tests, you guys, 3 separate systems testing in the United States. And if you could let me know why they need 29 minutes extra, that would be amazing. I'd really appreciate that. And if I find it in the meantime, I'll let you.
I like this lady. I like her glasses. She's a very stylish lady. All right, let's move on. So this is what Krasen, this is the first thing I saw about it this morning. So Krasenstein says, the Brian of the Krasensteins says, more ignorant and crazy COVID conspiracy theories. Wait, more ignorant and crazy COVID conspiracy theories? Wait, hold on. I mean, a lot of them have come true at this point, Brian, haven't they? The latest tinfoil hat conspiracy circulating the internet is one that claims a planned FEMA FCC emergency alert system scheduled for October 4th will activate the Marburg virus in anyone with the COVID vaccine. People actually believe that the government is going to use 5G in cell towers to cause dormant pathogens that were in the COVID vaccine to activate and turn people into zombie-like beings, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. Do I believe that this emergency alert system with 5G is going to do anything to the vaccinated tomorrow? No, I don't believe that is going to happen with a high probability. I don't think so. I don't think it's likely. I don't think it's probable. But I don't think it's impossible. I won't put anything past anyone at this point, but that would be very, I don't anticipate that happening, but all of the, hey, you're a conspiracy theorist about this emergency alert system. It makes me wonder, what are you guys doing with this emergency alert system? So I don't know. It just seems a little sus, but I don't think it's going to turn people into zombies and activate the graphene oxide in people's vaccines. Anyway, Wally World, you have an old microwave that you're using as a birthday cage. You can put your phone in there. That's a good idea. It's not a bad idea. That's funny. That's very funny. All right. I think that's enough talking about the emergency alert system silliness, because that was going on. What do I got next? I want to make sure I get into everything tonight. So this came out. Some interesting crypto news for you crypto bros out there. I know you guys love talking about crypto. I don't talk about crypto too much because I don't know a lot about crypto. But there's something that came out about this. I think it was about blockchain. It was just about Bitcoin. I'll let this guy explain it because I don't know a lot about crypto. But I mean, kind of saying that it looks like Bitcoin was created by the NSA is what this dude is saying. So watch this quick video from homie. So go to full screen on this. It's a quick 1 minute clip for you guys.
The credited author for Bitcoin paper, which was in 2008. Get up, NSA created SHA-256, which is the algorithmic procedure behind Bitcoin. And everyone said, I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about. Then I'm coming across Twitter, and here is a paper from 1996. And the paper was called How to Make a Mint, the Cryptography of Anonymous Electric Cash. This was written in 1996 by NSA. And you know, coincidentally, who the author of that 1996 paper about electronic cash, do you know who the author was? It was Satoshi Nakamoto. Doesn't that sound like Satoshi Nakamoto, who is the credited author for Bitcoin paper, which was in 2008? Get up, NSA created SHA-256, which is the algorithmic procedure behind Bitcoin. And everyone said, I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about. Then I'm coming across Twitter, and here is a paper from 1996. And the paper was called How to Make a Mint.
Sorry, I didn't mean to play it twice for you guys. I was looking for somebody that I can't find anymore. So he's claiming that, you guys can connect the dots. So this dude who claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto puts out this tweet, which I'm not even going to explain. Well, Okay, no, I'll read it. But I'll read the community notes first. It says, this isn't the real Satoshi Nakamoto, creator of Bitcoin. It's an account related to Craig Wright, who claims to be Satoshi with no material proof. The account below is rumored to be the real Satoshi, one of two accounts posting about Bitcoin in 2009. Okay, so I don't need to read his. So this guy expands on it a little more. So let's listen to this dude.
They invent Bitcoin. The theory's picking up steam because in 1996, the NSA released a paper called How to Make a Mint, the Cryptography of Anonymous Electronic Cash. In the paper, they have the backbones of what it would take to create something like Bitcoin. One of the sources for the paper is Tatsuaki Akamoto, who 2 years later created a public crypto ecosystem. And a lot of people are pointing out the similarities between this name and Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of the Bitcoin white paper. And guys, the plot thickens from there. The hashing algorithm that Bitcoin is built on, SHA-256, was created by the NSA. So that begs the question.
In 1996, over a decade before the existence of Bitcoin, the NSA published a paper titled How to Make a Mint, the Cryptography of Anonymous Electronic Cash. In it, NSA researchers outlined a system very much like Bitcoin, where financial transactions are secured via cryptography and made possible via a decentralized network. That way, your digital money could have privacy, protection against double spending, and protection against denial of service, eerily similar to a blockchain. 13 years later, the Bitcoin white paper was released, and the cryptographic algorithm Bitcoin uses to secure its transactions, the SHA-256 algorithm. And the creator of that algorithm? None other than the NSA. Think about it. As the government, wouldn't it be nice if you had a clean, perfect, immutable database that displayed everyone's transactions on a public ledger while giving everyone the illusion of privacy? If you had such a tool, as long as you can connect a wallet address to a person, which is not that hard to do, evading taxes would be a thing of the past. Laundering money would be a thing of the past.
What does that mean? They invent Bitcoin.
So, I already have my reservations about crypto. I have some, not a lot. I have in the past, but, this definitely gives you something to think about. And then you're like, okay, well, where do I hedge my money? I don't trust the dollar. Gold's like, I don't want to just buy tons of gold, buy tons of silver. It's how do you trade in that? I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor and I don't have a ton of money, but I don't know. I think ammo is always good. 9mm and 5.56 in the United States. I think if you had a lot of 9mm and 5.56, if you were trying to hedge your value with the dollar, well, you're always going to be able to sell that. I don't think it's going to go down in value. And Gavin Newsom just imposed a 11% additional tax on firearms and ammo, making it like 22% now, which is insane and completely illegal. What's to stop him from doing a 1,000% tax on that? Anyway, all right, I'm done talking about the crypto stuff because I got to talk about California. This is a show about California after all, and there's plenty of California stuff to talk about. So let's hop right over to San Francisco because it is a hellhole, and there's so much that have happened just like in the last couple of days. Actually, so you guys, first shot, Wally World. Have you guys noticed somebody's been missing in the chat that hasn't been there for quite some time? Man, I just checked. Terry Wallace account got suspended. Well, got suspended on X at least. So Terry might not know when I'm going live. Let me check. Yeah, I haven't seen Terry in a while, so hope Terry's doing all right. Haven't seen you in a while, Terry Wallace. Miss ya. Hope you're doing okay. All right, let's talk about the city because it is wild in San Francisco. All the crap that's going on over there. Okie dokie. Let's get into it. San Francisco. Let's check it out. So, where should I start? I don't even know where to start. So much has happened. So, I'll start here. So, yeah. A couple days ago, like 3 days ago, this guy, he was just arrested. Apparently, he stabbed 3 people. I think they all survived, but he's a 60-year-old man named Ephraim Baker. And this is his picture. If it'll open, come on, hurry up, please. And you can see he clearly has the knife in his hand already, just holding it down like an asshole, covering his face with a red mask. And here's the video. So he sort of random stabbing attack. And we're seeing a lot of these random attacks, not just stabbings, but people getting randomly attacked, but getting beat up, just random people. So look at this guy walking up to him, this guy off in the distance here. There's another angle of it, but I'm not even going to show you guys. But so he's got the knife in his hand. Dude sees him and he's like, no. He puts his hands up and goes over and starts stabbing him. So he's just stabbing this guy. All 3 of the victims went to the hospital. I think he had already stabbed a person at this point. So this dude's just walking around stabbing random people. So, all right, there's that. That's where I'll start. San Francisco is so out of control. So then, where is it? So then this one, yeah. So a driver was in there. It was a hit and run accident, and the victim was tossed under a driverless car. So a hit and run, and the vehicle that fled, they haven't caught him. So this dude's just crossing the street, and he got hit by a car that fled, and it knocked him under a driverless car. That's the next night after the stabbing. All right, and then there's let's see. This came out right before the show started, so it looks like another random attacking, just women, probably. I'm not going to judge. They're white women that live in San Francisco, so I'm going to assume something about them. But play both the videos. It's a random attack. So it looks like they got a ice cream parlor. I don't know what it is. Looks like, yeah, ice cream parlor. Cool. Awesome. Everybody loves ice cream, especially Joe Biden. So she goes outside. I don't think she encounters a good encounter. Picks up a chair. Can't really see great from this angle, but he comes in. This man bum rushes her, tries to take her to the ground. He falls down. And then some good men come in and start taking care of this guy like they should. And it's good to see people actually doing something, because you're always seeing people just stand around and let people get beat up and crap like that. But no, immediately they went in, did not hesitate. So we'll go to the other footage of this same encounter here. So this is same encounter, different angle. But this is a nice part of San Francisco, it looks like. This isn't, over in the Tenderloin. Like, you can't have tables and stuff outside on the sidewalk in the Tenderloin. But she grabs a chair, like, you're an idiot, lady. What are you going to do against a big 300-pound man? So he's clearly threatening her. Now she's just holding a chair in her hand, and all she's done is brought a weapon into the fight. Man rushes her, and then fortunately this guy comes in. First one there, does not hesitate. This guy comes in. 3 good dudes. 4th good dude. Awesome. Excellent work, guys. Great job. But that's not really the point. The point is, it's just people are getting randomly attacked in San Francisco. So there was that. I will go back because we're not done with San Francisco, because it's a hole, and I feel terrible for anybody that lives there. Meanwhile, you have stuff like this going on. So like this is the Pride Parade that Scott Wiener praises, where it's a kiddie pool, man laying in it, and another man just urinating on that dude. Okay, what is prideful about that, you guys? Like, even a gay pride parade. You want to have a parade, a pride, all that stuff. That's not pride. If straight people were to have some sort of any other parade, where is that socially acceptable for any other event of any kind? A man peeing on another man. How is that okay in any way, anywhere, out in public? A man pee. You guys want to do what you want to do in your own, like, fine. You want to be gay? Be as gay as you want. That's debauchery. Out in public, kids can see. It's disgusting. I don't understand how that is okay. And then Darren Stallcup puts up this World Peace Movement. He says, San Francisco, 6 a.m. Business as usual for the fentanyl dealers. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. The recently constructed fence around the Nancy Pelosi building has done nothing but make the fentanyl dealers stand a few feet down the sidewalk. So let's watch this video.
We're outside of the Nancy Pelosi building. And as you can see, it's business as usual for the fentanyl dealers. Nothing's changed at all whatsoever. Do not let these virtue signaling moderate Democrats, do not let these corrupt far left Democrats tell you otherwise.
There's people here fighting against the nonsense, you guys. And everybody always tells us, leave California, leave California. This is our home. And this isn't, I don't think this is a regional thing. This is an infection that has taken place within our country. And this is a stand your ground and fight thing at this point. You can't run from this stuff. The infection's going to spread. You say, not coming to my town, this and that. It's like, okay, well, I'm not from your town, dude. Like, I don't want to go to your town. This is my town. I want to stay here and fight all these psychopaths. I'm from here. I'm from California, and I was born and raised here, and I used to get along with all these people. People used to like me. I didn't change. They did. These ideas, they are from somewhere else. These are not California ideas. It's psychotic what's taking place in this state. People have lost the plot. Let's keep going with San Francisco. I want to read you this thread from this chick named Amy Larson, who, if you were to ask me, she's probably a liberal. Why am I saying that? Because Amy Larson is a reporter. And if you're a reporter and you're not paying the $11 or $8 or whatever it is to Elon, you're not maximizing this platform and your reach. This platform is the best platform for reporters, hands down. And if you're not paying the $11 for the extra features that you get as a reporter, you're dumb. You're just dumb. You're just trying to make some sort of point. And I don't know what point you're trying to make, because this is the freest platform to say what you want to say. And if you're a real reporter and you're not just trying to toe some party line and push an agenda, then you should be very happy and eager to pay a platform that's going to not kowtow to the ESG movement and allow you to actually say things, unlike YouTube and Facebook and Google and all the others. So yeah, this reporter, she has to do, I can tell she doesn't have the blue check mark, so she has to write a thread. You see this? See how annoying this is? She could do this as one tweet if she wants, but she's trying to make some sort of freaking point. It's just annoying to me. You're a reporter. Pay the $11, you annoying ass Amy. With that being said, I sympathize with her situation here, and she gives a pretty good description. It's kind of funny. I don't live in San Francisco, but after I left the newsroom, I stopped at San Francisco Safeway to buy 2 items. The store has security, including gates for entering and exiting, a guard, and locked cases throughout the store. I watched 3 young men enter, and one of my favorite hobbies is eavesdropping on conversations. Oh, that's great to admit, Amy. So I heard the smaller guy tell the 2 big guys, "It's easy. Just don't run out at the same time as me." He proceeded to stuff his bag full of unsecured bottles of dish soap, hop over the knee-high security gate with ease and breeze, past the guard. I'm thinking there's still 2 more thieves in the store. When I got to the cashier to lawfully pay for my items and warn her, the 2 remaining thieves are standing behind me trying to figure out the best way to bolt with their backpacks stuffed with stolen items. One shopper started yelling at the guard, "Get them, get them." There was a moment when they were all just standing there looking at each other. 2 rookie thieves, a news reporter, a security guard, a cashier, and an outraged shopper. The guard and the cashier did nothing, so I wasn't going to take it upon myself to tackle these guys. The thieves finally picked their getaway gate, and off they went into the night. Brazen is an understatement. The employees looked hopeless because they have to deal with this on a rampant basis. The lack of law and order in the store, even with extra security measures in place, was depressing. Incident location was the Safeway at Monterey Boulevard and Forester Street, time 7:50 p.m. So she's a good writer too. Like, that's fun. It's a funny description. She painted an excellent picture there. Like, Amy, pay the $11, chick. What are you doing? For real? Just be a reporter. Pay the $11. Like, stop it. Freaking nonsense. The first comment on this is so annoying. The horror of seeing someone steal laundry detergent. That's so annoying. That's so freaking annoying. It's like, you're the problem, dude. That's what I told him too. You are the problem. I mean, if that doesn't bother you, it's the only reason they sold dish soaps because the only thing they could steal wasn't what's locked up, and they'll fence those items. They'll go and they'll sell those items on the store. This drives up your prices, idiot. Darren, the horror of seeing. So Seneca Scott roasted him until the store closes for good. Yeah, so Seneca, awesome, says until the store closes for good, then you blame COVID. Drop a pin so we can come take free stuff from your house, please. Freaking douchebag. Yeah, totally ratioed him on that. So, all right, are we done with San Francisco? I don't think we are, because we got to talk about Nancy Pelosi. I guess it's kind of done with San Francisco, but we're going to talk about Nancy because, yes, this popped up. So there is a community note on this, and I will read it. But Colin Rugg reports, Dianne Feinstein is leaving behind a massive $100 million plus portfolio for her 4 daughters, a public servant on a 6-figure salary who is worth 8 figures. Remarkable. Here's what Feinstein left behind. A $60 million private jet, a $21 million San Francisco mansion, a $7.4 million Washington, D.C. home, a $5 million Hawaii home, and $70 million in cash in the bank. Experts estimate her personal net wealth was well over $70 million. Washington is beyond corrupt, he says. Okay, and the community note on this says, Feinstein's husband started his own private equity and investments firm 5 years before they married in 1980, and his net worth was estimated to be over $1 billion at the time of his death in 2022. Okay, well, how much insider trading did he know? How many? That's the thing. Her husband owned a private equity and investments firm. That community note doesn't exactly make it better. Like, it's so bad. Why do you have so much money, Dianne? Why do you have so much money, Nancy? It's just ridiculous. She got a Gulfstream, this beautiful home in Aspen. There's her home in Pacific Heights in San Francisco, Lake Tahoe. Oh, man. Yeah, she's got so much. Unreal. So, all right, I think that's it. That is all I got to talk about San Francisco for now. And that, since we're talking about Nancy, we might as well bring up the lady that replaced her. So I don't know much about this lady, but we should talk about her because this is California after all. So let's go over and talk about LaFonza. Ms. LaFonza. This is who Gavin Newsom chose to appoint as Dianne Feinstein's replacement. So Gavin Newsom will appoint Emily's List president LaFonza Butler to fill the seat of the late Dianne Feinstein, elevating the head of the fundraising juggernaut that works to elect Democratic women who support abortion rights, per a person familiar. Okay, so I don't know what Emily's List is. You guys can tell me. I'll know by next show, but I haven't looked into what Emily's List is. But people are saying that she doesn't even live in California. She's a Maryland resident. She moved to the DC area for Emily's List, but is a longtime California resident and homeowner, and she will re-register in California before being sworn in. Okay. So That's who replaced Dianne Feinstein, was LaFonza Butler. Okay. I don't know. I don't know anything about her. So I'll let you guys be the judge. All right. Well, we'll move on. Let's hop over to Oakland because I got plenty of Oakland stuff to talk about now. Jeez. I'm probably not going to get to it all, but actually, you know what? I think I want to jump over to New York because, yeah, I do want to jump over to New York really quick because I don't know if I'm going to get time to talk about this if I don't do it now. So this came up today, about 5 hours ago. Andy No says the New York Post has obtained footage of a radical leftist New York City activist, Ryan Carson, being confronted by a black male who stabbed him to death on a Brooklyn street on October 2nd. The suspect remains at large. Carson became celebrated for his advocacy for more drug injection sites. He identified himself as a member of Antifa on his social media. Oh, okay. So I don't celebrate any death. This is the footage. So I don't, that's the only strike that they show in this video. So I don't know. He's put his hand up to his neck right there. I don't know. He might have just stabbed him in the neck and got his carotid right there. That might have been the death blow, but he died from this attack, and it jumps to him on the ground after this. So I don't know what happened.
I'm so sorry. Are you Go watch him. Go watch him. I'm so Ryan. No, Ryan. I'm gonna call.
There's so much he did wrong here. Just absolutely so much that he did wrong. I mean, all right. So you already see he's got a knife in his hand right here. You can see it from here on. So as soon as this guy even starts walking towards you, you tell the female that you're with, get across the street. Go. Get across the street. Point, make her get across the street. You, at least he's in between him, the attacker, and her. Good job. You're there. But you got stuff. You immediately get her across the street, and then you look to your left. All of this stuff. What do I got as a weapon? This almost looks like some sort of pole right here. Is it a broom? Is it something? You can grab a trash can. A rubber trash can is your friend in this situation to space him away. He's got a knife. A knife attack is no joke. Somebody's coming at you with a knife. You need to get something to help equalize the fight if you can. And don't be a hero. You see a guy coming at you with a knife, freaking run. Run. Outrun the guy. Get your woman to safety. If she's being an idiot and standing there, you got to fight the guy. You got to be in between. Sucks, but get her across the street. Get her out of harm's way. And yeah, don't engage the guy who's got a knife. If you're forced to, try and get something that helps equalize the fight. So we'll watch this again. I'm just going to sort of critique this. He's backpedaling, first of all. Pushes with one hand, at least he kind of gets to the side, but dude, get your lady out of there. And this lady, I mean, you know he's got a knife. Like, what are you doing? She is way too calm. And, I mean, you want to remain calm, but she's way too, like, not grasping what's happening in the situation. It's just bad. Yeah, so if he's already got a knife and you can see he's got a knife, I mean, you shouldn't even be pushing with your hands. You should probably be trying to use your feet. This is another reason why it's good to be in shape and know how to kick. I mean, teep kicks, push kicks, right? I mean, you're probably going to get stabbed in your leg, but it's better than getting stabbed in your neck. Yeah, you got arteries in your leg too, but I mean, yeah, kick, get the guy away, get him away, run, freaking run. Do not engage a knife, man. It's, all right. So that happened in New York. just, yep, unreal. Let's see if I can talk about Oakland a little bit. No, probably not going to have time. Yeah, I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm going to stop talking about New York. And I'm doing another show tomorrow, so we'll talk about Oakland, more California madness, all that good stuff. Yeah, I think we'll have to. But before that, yeah, I do want to talk about this quick video that came up, and it's a very good point that's being made. Yeah, I will say that that dude that got attacked and stabbed, that sucks. Like, I don't care. Okay, he's an Antifa. He was a leftist. It sucks. I don't want to see anybody get stabbed and murdered. But I mean, at least he didn't let his lady get stabbed and murdered, even though she just stood there afterwards. That was a horrible, horrible situation. But I mean, it really goes to what this next video that I want to show you sort of illustrates, and what I'll end the night on. It's this guy makes I love this dude. It's Chris Williamson, I believe is his name. I love his podcast. It's probably my favorite new podcast. He has great guests on. He talks about just really, he's a thinker. He talks about very intellectual subjects and philosophical topics, and has very interesting people on. But he makes a really good point in this video here. So let's watch this little sort of, I don't know, it's a few clips of people on college campuses talking back to back, but then it's Chris Williamson talking at the end, telling a story. So I do want to talk about this. All right, this quick 1 minute video.
Do you think that toxic masculinity is a problem that we need to address in society?
Society, I'd say it definitely is something we should address.
It's definitely an issue that most of us face in some way or another.
I'm actually a women and gender studies minor, so we talk a lot about toxic masculinity in some of my classes.
It was 2012 in Aurora, Colorado, and there was a shooting that happened there. The shooter was a lone man who was 27 years old. So he enters the movie theater and he starts unloading rounds, just kind of at will. And three men, 24, 26, and 27, threw themselves on top of their girlfriends to use their bodies as shields. All three men died. All three women survived. If that is the kind of masculinity that you want to get rid of in the modern world, if that's the one that is toxic and part of a oppressive patriarchal superstructure that's misogynistically keeping everybody down, and you want to get rid of that, we don't live on the same planet.
Do you think that toxic...
Same. I don't want to live in that world. I don't want to live in a world where all the men around me are pussyfied. I want to live in a world where men are men, and men want to defend people that can't defend themselves and want to stick up for what's right, and men that will make the ultimate sacrifice to defend the woman they're with. The young men, those were very young men, and they instinctively jumped on their girlfriend to save their life. There's no choice there. You're left with one option. They all survived. If that's the toxic masculinity you're trying to get rid of, stay toxic, kings. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Toxic, attaching the term toxic to masculinity is one of the worst psyops that's been done on young people. Masculinity is great. Be masculine, men. Lift heavy things. Do hard things. Yeah. All right. I guess that's it. That's what I'm going to end on tonight, folks. Let's see. Yeah, that's the last thing I'm going to talk about tonight. All right, folks. That is what I got for you all. But you know how we do it. Before we go, I got to read a joke from the greatest book ever written, The Truth About Chuck Norris. Let's see. What do we got for you tonight? Last night's joke was really funny. I have my favorite joke that's memorized that I've already told once, but I'll probably end up telling it again. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. You guys ready for the Chuck Norris joke of the evening? Actually, let's see. First shot. Wally World, thank you guys so much for joining. Check out our Rumble, Pete Grabber, Northside. All right. So good. Nice to see you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. All right. All right. Before we go, Chuck Norris joke. What do we got tonight? All right. Chuck Norris does not have normal male nipples. He has Dodge Ram hood ornaments on each pec, and both Rams blow smoke out of their nose each and every time he pumps Christy Brinkley. And on that note, stay CaliBased.